Of course, the report is that online gambling is now available to everybody, everyone with a smartphone or a tablet. But the reality is only one person in 20, one person in 25 actually chooses to gamble online. Other forms of gambling in the UK are far much more commonplace and are used much more frequently than online gambling. And there's been, as we say, the problem gambler loses his or her perspective on the subject. I'm afraid some in the media in the UK have lost their perspective on the subject. There's an agenda being driven in the UK that's, I have to put it this way, anti-gambling, that has seduced the media, seduced politicians, and they are, I'm afraid, guilty of misreporting what the reality is.
A report in today's Guardian says that third-party advertising is targeting vulnerable users, people who've tried to stop gambling or people on low incomes.
Well, I read that report this morning, and I've got to say, once again, I was a bit disappointed in the way it was presented. All retail companies use market survey material. They use mailing lists and other forms of identifying target customers. And of course, there's a type of product they will target at women who, I'm generalising, but prefer to play bingo. There's a type of product they'll target at men who, I'm generalising, like to play poker. And there's other products that they will select the type of person to whom they focus their expensive advertising. Rather than actually having blanket advert to everyone, they will try and target their advertising. It's the new norm. And that was a bit of an opportunist, cynical report, if I might say so, that was in the Guardian this morning.
But are people targeting people who stopped gambling?
No, absolutely not. It's prohibited. One of the fundamentals of a problem gambler who self-excludes, who asks not to be engaged, is that they're actually taken out of the marketing database. They're not allowed to be sent any email promotion. Obviously, we can't stop them watching TV or driving past a billboard, but the operators are prohibited, expressly prohibited, from sending them emails or the spam or the type of thing that sometimes you get on your computer once they have self-excluded.
How does self-exclusion work, and what are the ways in which it can fail?
Okay, in theory, the customer decides they want to take an extended break from the gambling, and it may be they have a problem. It may be they're saving up for the wedding. It may be they realise that they want to do something else. So that they then register as Bill Smith of 44 Acacia Avenue in Coventry with this phone number, this email address. Please take me off your system. And the UK has now introduced a national database where Bill Smith puts his details on. A week later, Bill wants to get on. So what does he do? Today I'm William Smith, and I'll use my mother's address, and I'll create a new email address, and I'll use the other phone. And suddenly William Smith is back on. So he's completely driven a coach and horses through the self-exclusion scheme. And because that's gone on for 15 years, the term self-exclusion has become abused. It isn't actually a self-exclusion scheme anymore for most of the users. It's actually become a method by which the average user decides to move their accounts round, or try and get more bonuses, or try and get more free bets. Its purpose is noble, and that is to protect problem gamblers. Its actually use has become far less than that. It's become abused.
What more can gambling companies do to protect vulnerable customers?
Well, they're all obliged now to sign up to the UK National Self-Exclusion Scheme, and they will be incorporating that into their technology. It's an extra layer of protection. They are doing more and more on the individual examination of customers when they hit certain spending thresholds. Again, that opens the door to other issues besides problem gambling, but it's a massive area of research, development and investment by the companies to make sure they get this right. But they are, again, I'm not taking the responsibility away from them, but there are issues about the problem gambler, like the problem drinker, will try and find ways around the system. and there is only actually so much they can do before really they've been tricked or conned into allowing somebody into the system.